I think we are live. Looks like I'm going. Yo, what is up, dudes? So before we get going, I just wanted to, just mention the passing of James Tyler Guitars. James Tyler of James Tyler Guitars. Little stunning news. The what you see in the thumbnail for this is just a screenshot of RJ Ronquillo, who had posted that this morning. I remember just seeing it this morning going like, whoa, that's shocking. Kind of a young guy, I think in his early 70s. I think it said 51 to 24. So that would put him at like 73. And, I know that sounds old to a lot of people, but, I assure you it's still kind of young. And, I was so sad to hear that. It was stunning news. So, rest in peace to James Tyler of James Tyler Guitars. I've never owned a James Tyler. I would see them at NAMM, once in a while, and would check out the booth, but, I've never owned one. But it seems like he was a good guy. I know he had a good relationship with RJ and like Sean Tubbs as well. And seems like he had made a lot of friends in the industry, and he had a product that had a very enthusiastic fan base. So he will be missed, and there you have it. So good evening to everyone. I just wanted to get that like right out of the get-go, right? Right out of the right up front. All right, so we got James, Deanna, Retro, Trolls, Matt, Van, Strat CPO, Super Lead, Wendell, Jimmy P, Yeti Matzi, Matt, Tony. You have a couple of the James Tyler Variax guitars. Yeah. I saw that go over this morning. The reason why I screenshot it, I had trouble finding any news about it. So that's why I used that screenshot. But shocking news. Dennis Ben, Blackjack Guitar, Eric Retro Puffer Speaker. What's up, dude? We got Bo, we got Scott, we got Michael. I know, right? Talk about a bolt out of the blue, exactly. Yeah, Dave, the headstocks were a bit controversial, but people loved his stuff, man. People love his guitars. He has a, like I said, I would call it an enthusiastic fan base. People really, James Tyler, I haven't heard someone get one and say, oh, I didn't really care for it. It's usually that they really like the guitars. Yeah, no, this is a Wylde guitar, all right. This thing is huge. This thing is enormous. It's you're playing a guitar when you're playing one of these. Snagged this new Strat for your next project for a killer deal yesterday. Yeah, I have a guitar coming up soon. Can't talk about it now, but there's a guitar coming up soon on that I got for what I thought it was a really good deal. We'll get into it when the video comes out. Yeah, these inlays are massive. There's no missing those inlays. Freaking huge. They're freaking huge. What's up, Patrick? Do I own any classical guitars? I don't think I do. You know, I had a nylon string Fender that I sold years back. That was as close as I got to having a classical. You know, it was more like a concert classic. It was not a traditional. Had a cutaway. It was bigger than a normal classical. It was not a traditional classical. Oh my God, this guitar. This thing is a beast. It does pick squeal. Can I play the Scorpions? Actually, no. Tiny bit on that. A little better. Is that radius really flat and the fingerboard wide? Well, the fingerboard isn't super wide. I don't know. You know, what is the radius on this? That's a great question. Wylde audio. 14-inch radius. A 24.625 scale length. Of course, that was going to be my next guess. Oh my God. Who do we have here? And these are Blood Eagle bells. Very appropriate. BC Rich 581. Joseph D'Angelo. Mongoose 1969. Stonehaven. Fretless Ed. Joyce Renkel. Noise Bloom. Ryan 84. CJ Watson. This is a Blood Eagle shame. This is where we tear a few ribs out of your back, rip your lungs out like wings, and then hang you up by your wings as a blood eagle. That's That's what happens when you Google Blood Eagle. It's actually a Viking torture. Where you would you'd be hung by your lungs. Shame. What's up, Larry? Oh, yeah. Well, that took a dark turn. It looks flatter than, yeah. Yeah, it could be the inlay's little optical illusion. Oh, we have a new member. We got someone new here. Ian's Guitar Shack. Welcome to Cool, bro. A Blood Eagle with zero red color makes no sense until you find out that it's in Nordic ice. Ice, baby. And the Nordic ice. Because it's a Viking thing. It's a Viking thing. It's not about the blood. It's about the Viking. You're getting blood. Nordic ice. Yeah, if you want blood. If you want blood. No, it doesn't really have neck dive because this body is so friggin' huge. No. Nope. You can do all your ZZ Top, you know. I think they make one in black that's satin, and it's got like a wood ridge to the edge of it. It actually looks quite different than this, even though it's the same guitar. That tune is deceptively hard. Heavy guitar, you know, it's not a crazy heavy. Got a little weight to it. I tell you, I shot the video for Monday for the Guitar of the Week for next week, and that guitar was deceptively heavy. I was like, I don't even know if I mentioned it in the video, but damn, that guitar had some. I was moving it around. I was like, this guitar's a little heavy. I'm just saying, if Hendrix is alive, he'd probably be playing the Blood the Blood Eagle. EMGs. I think they're made by Schecter, right? I'm pretty sure it's a Schecter dealie. All right, where's my coffee? Whew. So, there's some new announcements this week in the guitar world. We got, let me get over here. It's Gibson. Yeah. Gibson announced the Johnny Cash and the Roseanne Cash, which are, premium, limited signature models, limited edition. And I'm sure they're like 15 grand for the Johnny Cash and 5,300 for the Roseanne Cash. So either way, probably more like a collectible. It's really more of a collector's piece, I would say. Whereas the other one is, quite possibly a player's piece. At 15 grand, no one's buying that to play it. They're buying it to collect it. Good looking top. What's the back and sides? Maple. Oh yeah, that's nice. Sitka spruce on the top, flame maple back and side. Yep. Of the two, I think this is the way more, you know, attractive piece. Not just price-wise, but, you know, the other one's a bit, it's a bit over the top. Again, that's just screams collector's piece to me all day. And not a, right, that's not a player's guitar by any means. What else came up today? Oh, yeah. Can we go to Ibanez? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they have a new, that last guitar there. This one's kind of hot right now. That quilt top. So hot right now. They're going to show it here. Is it that last one? Is it this one here? It is. The new RG550 Genesis. Do they show the black? They do. Yeah. Yeah, they released the black. So they've had the Road Flare Red, the Purple Neon, the Desert Sun Yellow, and I think the Electric Blue for a little while now. And they just announced the black, which I remember the black. You could always get it in black, which is sort of a classic look. It's black on black on black with the black hardware, the black inlays. Yeah, you know, it's a good, it kind of works with the shape too, you know. I'd say maybe even more, you know, than that. Well, that's a classic though. The purple. And then it's kind of orangey in person. Yeah. There's none more black. No, I thought it looked good. I remember I had a white one. And then I had a yellow one. And then I had EMGs. And then I traded I swapped the neck with a RG550 that had a black headstock, so it worked with the bright yellow body and the black pickguard and all that. And he just sanded the yellow off it, because I said, dude, it's got a yellow paint on the headstock. He goes, I don't care. He was way more into the punk, and he just literally took a sander to the headstock and got it down to bare wood. I think he like spray painted it black, and that was the end of that. I was like, okay. Should have never sold that guitar. That yellow Ibby with the RG760 neck. That was a nice guitar, and it looked kind of a one of a kind. It looked like an RG570, and that's probably how it was later sold to people. But I don't think they ever made the RG570 in Desert Sun Yellow, so it was a parts caster. EMGs do sound good. They get hate, but I like them. What's up, Papa Blue? Yeah, a little Thin Lizzy. Oh God, that's good. That is good. I don't think they're stainless steel. Let's double check the specs on this. Blood eagle, we're soaring like the blood eagle. You have to make sure you say Wylde Audio. You get very different listings. Very, very, very different listings. Well, it's hosted by Schecter. Schecter Guitars has the listings. So I'm going to say it is Schecter. Schecter? I don't even know her. Schecter, I never even touched her. So there's all your speckerinis. What was can you repeat the question, sir? What's up, Metalhead Hippie? How's it going, buddy? Stainless steel frets. I'm going to say no. No, 22 extra jumbo. If they were stainless steel, they would have said it. Trust me. And there's no way those are real mother of pearl. I feel like those are mother of plastic. Satin black, blah, blah. Oh, yeah. 10 through 46. Your nut width. In case you're wondering. You get your tusk. See, Zach. See. There you go. All right. Specs. Firefly and Earth have all stainless steel. Yeah, but stainless steel impart a certain sound. Not everybody wants that. People think it's a better value and that it's some sort of an upgrade. I would say it's just a different alloy and it's more of a lateral move. And whether or not you like the brighter frets. They're brighter. Without a doubt. Not everybody likes him. That's why nickel still sticks around. Never heard you talk about Michael Schenker. You never really followed him as a guitar player. That's probably why. Was he in Scorpions? Was that a different Schenker? Yes, if he was in the Scorpions, specifically on the Blackout album. No, if he wasn't. Yeah, in the UFO, I never had any UFO records. MSG, Michael Schenker Group. Never had a single MSG record. His brother Rudolph. That's what I thought. No, of my German metal bands, I went with Scorpions, and to a lesser extent, Accept. saw Accept too. Pretty sure I did. Did they open for the Scorpions on a tour? Maybe. Do I still have my Kramer Beretta Special? Do I still have that? That's a good question. Can't remember if I've seen it lately. I'm going to say no. I think I sold that to like my brother-in-law or something like that. The inlays are made of ground eagle beaks and talons. Sure. A few condors. Can't we get some endangered species in there? Did I give the Kramer to my brother-in-law? That sounds right. At Christmas, was it last winter? I think you might be right. That could be it. I don't really know all of Crazy Nights by the only one I know. Just that riff. Yeah, I've been getting rid of guitars. It's too much. There's too many. The guitar does sound good. You know, it's the pickups. You know, EMG 81 and 85 series is a classic series. You know, they sound good. There's a reason why they've stuck around so many years. I think that at the time, EMG had a real reputation of being very noiseless and not picking up like ground stuff, and you were isolated, so you never created a circuit when you like would touch mics. So it's kind of a safe system if you're touring and worried about electrocution. There were some practical uses. I have not played a PV Vandenberg. So I saw this week, I think Phil and KDH had videos about the Fenders pre-owned. And I don't know if I mentioned it last week. I never thought those were used guitars in the sense that like they were traded in or somehow. No. Those are open box returns, right? Right. Those are returns. Those or failed quality control, and it's never going to pass it. So they throw it on what they would call a second. So there used to be a thing in the industry called seconds. They used to stamp on the back of the headstock the word second, which meant that it did not meet the standards of a first quality instrument from the manufacturer. Now they tap mod and demo on the back. And it's sort of the same thing. You know, the ones that are really bad, they fix by respraying them, right? Cleaning them up. And I think all those Fenders are just, like, you know, they sell a lot of guitars, but, you know, you get an X amount of percentage. If you sell enough, it starts to add up. You get returns. What are you doing with them? They got to go somewhere. And you only get one shot at selling. This isn't like the old mom and pop. God, we would sell the same guitar new as many times as it took for it to permanently walk out the door. But if somebody bought a guitar and then returned it, that guitar got sold as brand new again. We weren't discounting it as a return or an open box. That was nonsense. Everything's brand new. It's all new. Sure. You know? People used to say, hey, I want a brand new one in a box. What are you talking about? There's no one back. If we have a guitar, it's out on the floor. We don't have any boxes in the back. We don't stock inventory like that. But now, if you're online, and it sort of started with the electronics industry because they used to really, right, they'd get a lot of returns. But now you have to write the serial number down. And you have to, like, show that a new guitar has been shipped as new. And then when it comes back, that serial number can never be shipped as new again. It has to be shipped as open box or second or something blem. It has to be something listed as wrong. And then what they'll do is like retailers, big retailers, will throw a whole shit ton of stock over in the quote-unquote used section that they're trying to dump because they're not allowed to dump them off at big discounts. Certainly not as quote-unquote new. They've never been sold. They're just sitting on this stock. They're getting some sort of deal maybe out of the manufacturer, some sort of like percentage credit, to offset their losses on the run. And not always, but sometimes. But basically what they're just trying to do is recoup their money so they can put it into other guitars that will sell at a profit. So we have some guitars we can't sell at a profit. What do? They literally put them in the used section. They just buy up a bunch of stock. And they did that a couple of years ago with BC Rich. If you saw, there was an explosion. All of a sudden, they had 500 BC Riches. That's a lot of trade-ins in one day. They bought a bunch of BC Rich stock, but they're not allowed to sell it new. So they had to put it up as used. You see that. You see that all the time. Guitar Center does that all the time. Just blowing things out. Some of those mods are pretty expensive for second-rate guitars. Yeah, well, what they do is it's almost always a finish flow. But if you'll notice on a lot of those mods, they'll show up real tight. You'll see some sort of scrape along the binding, right? So the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. So you have some sort of a scrape on the binding or some sort of just some sort of little mark that makes it a blem. And they jack it up, they pump it up by giving you an exclusive paint job, right? Some sort of thing to make you feel better about the purchase, like you're not buying a blem, and they can actually get more money for it that way, right? It's, right? You're turning shit into shinola. You're right, you're polishing a turd. It can happen. And the next thing you know, you have something that's not only... forget the blem. The blem's the last thing they think about. What they're looking at is the custom color that they can't get anywhere else. You've turned something that was very undesirable into something desirable. See how that works? Right? By making that a one-of-a-kind. Boom. Boom. It's actually a brilliant strategy. Right? It's a way to take, guitars that weren't up to quality and turn them into something, again, making lemonade out of lemons. Doing something. And some of the colors they use, I wish they would use on runs. God, they had like this galaxy black on a Les Paul. I thought it was one of the most stunning Les Pauls I'd seen in a while. I was like, oh my God, do a run of these. Look at this thing. It looks like, they had an emerald green that looked amazing. Like, do a run of these. Do a dozen of these. Or 50. You know, they've had some really, and then some colors I shake my head and I go, who's buying this? But they sell. Actually, right now you can get 10% off. Now that you mention it, on the mod shop, if you're so inclined to buy a mod. I did get an email from Gibson saying that the mod shop, if you have, there's a code. It's I want to say it's LDW, Labor Day Weekend 10, LDW 10, right? Labor Day Weekend 10% off anything on the mod shop during checkout. So throw it in the cart and see if you can enter LDW 10, and you should get another 10% off. I did get that email. Super Lead says he still can't afford one. Yeah, you know, they're not cheap. I actually, I can't talk, again, I can't really talk about it yet, much like Monday's Guitar of the Week, but I did score a pretty nice guitar. I'm really happy with it. It needs a little bit of setup, though, and I'm waiting on a couple of small parts to really get it back into shape. But I'm thinking it's going to be one of my better scores. It was short money. I sort of kept staring at it going, that cannot be real. There's no way they're selling that. You know what? I'm just going to buy it. I'm going to take a chance. And it showed up, and I was like, oh, my God, that's it. I'm like, I can't believe it. But I could see why maybe why it went so cheap, or someone didn't like it, because the setup was really bad. You know, and people don't know how to set up their own guitars, even though it's really not that tricky. And there's tons of videos out there now that help you do it. It was probably a frustrating guitar to own. So I get it, but no problem for me, bro. I already got it going so friggin' good now, but it's not quite there. It's only about like 80-85% of the way there. It still has a couple of annoying problems that can only be fixed with like a small part. And I already ordered it. They already shipped it. It should be here this week. So, God. What's up, James? I want to try to swing by today and check it out, but you got tied up. Oh, yeah, dude, you're going to like this one. You got to come by and look at this one. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. It's pretty friggin' nice. And I was like, huh. I could tell right away. Oh, yeah, were you out on the bike? I was here was I here all day? I think I was here all day. I don't think I really went out today. Yeah, it's going to be some of your last mile days. We're kind of mild now. I think it's going to be rainy tomorrow and way more humid. And then it comes all crashing down for the start of next week. We're going to get really they said last time, oh, it's going to be a taste of fall. It was a taste of nothing. Not even close to being a taste of fall. Please. The dew points are in the 50s. It's not fall. Dew points are going to fall down into the low 40s, high 30s. That's going to feel like fall. Maybe tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, I'm going to be here. Shoot me a text, and you can come up and take a look. You're gonna friggin' love it. But again, tomorrow it might be thunderstorms, dude. You might not be able to take the bike. You might have to take the truck. Are the Patriots going to suck? Well, I think so. I think what they can't come to grips with is that, you know, it's in a rebuild. And they probably they want to do good, but not too good, because they'd rather get a nice high draft pick pick up a nice left tackle. Then you'll have a rookie quarterback who's done with his rookie year, never taken the field, and you'll be good to start him next year, which is how most teams do it. Your rookie quarterback sits the first year and just takes it all in, and then goes through the practices and learns everything. And then it's really the second year. So it's a rebuild year. Look, they had 20 years in 6 Super Bowls. Not enough? No. You're going to have a couple of shit years. Deal with it. Come on. You'll be in your truck? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I think you'll like it. It's got mojo. It's got mojo. And the funny thing is and I think this has to be part of the video, is that people say, I don't believe this guy because, every guitar he gets at a crazy good price. Yeah, if it's not a crazy good price, I don't buy it. Right? Yeah, I think you get a little chicken and the egg, little causality problem, a little causation problem there. It's not like I'm out to buy a guitar and I just miraculously get amazing prices. I scour the internet for guitars every day. And if I see one that I know is ridiculously low price, and I mean goddamn ridiculously low price, then yeah, I jump on it. Because I know if I go to sell it, I'll probably, at least make my money back, if not more. Even with all the stupid fees and all that crap. Still going to make money off of it. But people just seem to think that somehow, some way, every guitar I get is just an amazing deal. And it's, because I pass on it. If it's not. Oh, I remember the old Patriots suck days when we had the bury the bears and squish the fish, and it was 86. We finally had a season, and we were just terrible before that. Then they got kind of terrible again, and then we finally had they got Parcells, and then Bledsoe. And then it all sort of went from there. Yeah, that Brady roast was on friggin' fire. That's crazy. Yeah, the 85 Bears, they were a machine. That's just one of those teams. What's up, Seth? Jackson SL1 or SL2 inputs. You mean like which one do I like better? I personally like the SL1. That's the single double. I think the SL2 is the two humbuckers. Personally, I'd go single, single, double. That's just me. You know, it just depends on what you on what you like. But oh, that is good coffee. Do do do. Yeah, Nicky Glacier on Stern. That's good. That's an old interview. He's been on vacation, I think, since the end of June, right? He takes July and August off. He won't be back until after Labor Day, which is early this year. So Ripley says he's owned a lot of USAs. Best was the 2006 SL2H. Okay, so that's the two humbucker. And Trans Blue, best sounding out of all of them I've had. Now, was that two Duncans? Is that what comes stock in that? Or was that two EMGs? Was that like this with an EMG 81 and an 85? Or did it have like a JB Trembucker and like like the Jazz, like the 4N? I'm thinking it had the Duncans, but kind of a moving target. Yeah, the Duncans. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Seems to be one of the two. Let's see the Farrington. Well, the Farrington is all locked up on in its case on a shelf. That's a little tricky to get. Yeah, JB Jazz. I think that's what they are. I think you're right. Exactly. It's just like living in Massachusetts. You got two Duncans right next to each other. Exactly what it's like to live here. One on either side of the supermarket. You get one as you're pulling into the gas station, and one as you're pulling out. Charles said his Stinky USA came with EMGs, right? Changed them for the SH5 and SH6. Yeah. I know we need a honeydew pickup, yeah. Oh, yeah? Happy 60th there, Ripley. Tomahawk ribeye steak is not a bad not a bad way to enjoy it. I never did get into any Hamer USA guitars. You know, I did try one when I bought that Strat. I'll never forget the other two guitars. I was 15, you know, you remember it's such a big thing to go into the city and go to like E-Worlds or the big store on Newbury Street. I remember we went in and, you know, I wanted the Strat, and my dad was like, why don't you try a few guitars? And they brought me two other guitars. And the two other guitars I tried were a Hamer Flying V. Again, this is right around Christmas, before it, but right Thanksgiving, probably Black Friday-ish, right? For 1981, I tried a Hamer Flying V in a Gibson Victory, and I have to say, I was impressed with that Gibson Victory. That was a nice guitar. It was brand new. God, that thing was so nice. But I was like, nope. I came here for a Strat. I'm leaving with a Strat. Stop clouding my head with other things. I want the friggin' Strat. And we left with it. Does the Blood Eagle have two volume knobs? It does. So It's volume for the neck, volume for the bridge, and there's the tone. Not a huge difference, actually. I know, it's almost, you could see this like a Charvel, like not even needing a tone knob. Because most of the players who are playing this, most of them aren't using it, but there's going to be some. Keep your options open. That's why they include it. Oh man, what's up, Pooh Ninja? Oh yeah, no, Rick Nielsen, he owned a ton of Hammers and Gibsons, man. There's so many. So many, God. He really had quite the collection. And he said he would tour with like a 59 Les Paul. Like insane. So I had to fix my poor father-in-law. He was all upset because the chain broke off the toilet, and my wife was like, "Oh, we'll call the plumber," and I was like, "Hold up, I'll go up there and fix it." So I went up there to fix it, and I realized, I said, "You know, I didn't have the tools with me, but I said, you know, your fill valve here has a little leak. It's like bubbling out of the top here. It's definitely got a little leak going." And I said, you know, we should probably change that at some point. So yesterday, he actually called in the morning. The chain had broken off again, even though I had that thing on there. It's a terrible design by, I think, Fluid Master on the flapper. Terrible chain design. So he was getting all upset. I said, I'll drive up, don't worry. So I went up there. I brought in fact, I cut my freaking finger. Not doing the job, but I'm taking the freaking part out of the goddamn box. The plastic was so sharp. But I was able to put the new fill valve in. That's the hardest part, is lining it up next to the old one and making sure you have the height of everything correct. Then it drops right in like nothing, right? Well, why make it hard on yourself? Just take, the old one was the same brand, Fluid Master. You just put them next to each other. You just have to set the height, and everything. It was all fine after that. And then the same with the chain. So I couldn't get the chain back on that goddamn flapper. They're making me mental. So I said, there's got to be a piece missing. I'll bet there was like... There wasn't, though. Found out later there wasn't. It's just a shitty design. So believe it or not, right around the corner from his house, it's like, you can't make this up, is an enormous plumbing supply house. I was like, oh my God. I go over there, and it's busy. There's all these plumbers in there getting pipe and hangers and all this stuff, and they're doing these, you know, big friggin' equipment purchases and parts purchases. And I was like, okay. So they helped me out, and I said, you know, I have to find some way to hold I brought the flapper with me. And I said, we have to find some way to get this so it'll hold the chain. I think there's supposed to be like an extra piece at the end. And they were looking around, and they had the place was so big. They were like, oh, wait a second, we actually have more stuff down here in more like Brand Central. Because I said it was an American Standard, and he goes, oh, is it American Standard? He goes, we actually have an American Standard section. And we went down there, and they had a brand new one right there with the correct ring at the bottom to hold it on. I knew something was missing. I said, oh, no. There's no way this goes like this. And it was a newer design because I'm sure that old one couldn't hold the friggin' chain on to save its life. So got that going. Oh, my God, he was so happy. Between fixing the fill and fixing the friggin' flapper. Now oh my God, he was so friggin' happy. I doubt this finishes lacquer. This has got to be polyurethane, right? Polyurethane, polyester? Did they say right here? I actually happen to have the... Do they say what the finish is? They do not. I'm going to guess it's polyurethane or polyester. Usually the bodies are polyester and the necks are polyurethane because they want the neck to be able to flex more, right? So they use the urethane, which is more rubber, and they use the polyester on the bottom. It's harder. Yeah, they don't say, but I'm going to guess a polyurethane polyester combo, if I had to guess. There's no way on a guitar this cheap that they're using lacquer. $150, dude. My wife had called them, but they weren't going to come until Tuesday. That was the first time they could come. And they're $280 an hour, and it's a minimum of 1.5 hours. So you just do the math. It's going to be $280 plus another $140. So that's $380. It's like $420 just for them to walk in the front, even if it takes them 10 minutes. 10 minutes to fix it. That's the minimum charge for them to show up. And I was like, hold up. The fill valve was $8.99, and that ridiculously overpriced flapper at that supply house was $15.99. Could have bought it for $10 on Amazon. But that's okay. They were there in my time of need. So before we go dropping 400 and something bucks on a goddamn friggin' plumber, we're good. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna go outside. There's gonna be the plumbers union, right? There's gonna be a pipe through my windshield. $75 dispatch fee and $125 an hour plus parts. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? This place is like the most ridiculous. He always goes, and I always say, he goes with I swear he goes with like the most expensive companies. He goes with this oil company. And I said, they're doing you no favors. They're charging you so much for the oil and, and all this stuff. And then it was like, well, he gets all this stuff. And then if there's anything, and if there's any problem with the, with the oil burner, then he's fully covered because it includes, any sort of equipment failure. I'm like, oh, really? Well, his oil burner went. And guess what? Oh, well, we cover it, but only up to like $1,000. And this whole thing is going to cost you like, $7,000. It's like, it's like, please, they're doing you no favors. These guys, there's a reason why they're driving around in massive gleaming trucks. It's because, they're raking in cash. These companies are like, it's unbelievable. But, they get a market. When we had we were on gas now, but when we had an oil burner, I used to go to a local aggregator that would show what everyone's price was that day. And I would go to whoever was the cheapest. It's a goddamn commodity. I'm loyal to nobody. But there was always just one or two guys that were always the cheapest. Right? They were always way below everyone else. Last car door handle broke. One interior, one exterior. Yeah. Bought the parts for $20. Took you 3 hours and lots of cussing, but you got it done. Shop one at $400. Oh, easily. No. Anything that requires any sort of skilled labor, the only thing that I'm not doing now is that, I did hire the tree company because although I did remove a lot of branches, like 2 trailers full of branches, it just got so high, I couldn't do it. Those branches were going to come down and either kill me or slam into my neighbor's house and destroy their house. And he did such a good job. They were here with a big, giant, massive bucket truck and a 4-man crew for over an hour for $650. And I was like, that's all day. No, that's absolutely, that's great. I thought the guys that did my roof, they were here for almost 2 full days. The amount of work they did, and they rebuilt the whole fascia board, and and I could not believe the hours they put in. They rebuilt the whole gutter system, and they were here for 2 full friggin' days, a 3-man crew, and that was $2,300. I thought that was cheap. It was like a 10 by 7 roof. Maybe a 12 by 7 roof. Yeah, I know. It's hard to find skilled and dependable tradespeople these days. Well, they're out there, but they're very expensive. I felt bad for the woman next door. We had a storm, and a tree branch knocked the power off her house. Right? The line from a tree branch came down and knocked the line down to her house. But the town told her, no, that's you have to put that line in. So she had to call in like this electrician that was certified by the town to actually work on the line. And it cost her like $2,000 out of pocket to have that line restored. I was like, that's a little crazy. Thought that sucked. They were telling her to probably put in like some sort of a homeowner's claim, but she probably didn't have homeowner's insurance at that point. Her mortgage was long paid off. Probably didn't see the value in it. Yeah, dealership wants $80 to change a cabin filter. Yeah, they wanted like $49 to change my cabin filter. And I was like, no, I'm good. I change it all the time. I'm good. I have a dead tree in the backyard. We have a dead tree in my neighbor's backyard, right on the edge of the property. And woodpeckers took the top 12 feet off. Yeah, the woodpeckers go up there and they hit it because it's empty. It's like a goddamn bongo drum. It's so friggin' loud that we not only get just like the little woodpeckers, we'll get the big ones, the flickers, and like the hairy woodpecker, there's the downy, which is the small one, about the size of like a sparrow. And then there's the hairy, which is about the size of a blue jay. Much, much bigger bird. When that thing goes, it's like a goddamn jackhammer. And they don't get the same sound. It's more of a thud when they do at a regular tree. But that dead tree, oh my God. Between the flickers and the hairy woodpeckers. Well, the flicker's about even bigger than a blue jay. Flicker's a pretty big bird. And they go to town. Rat-a-tat, tat, tat, tat. Tap, tap, a tap, a do. Remember, I had heard a woodpecker sound like a machine hammering. I thought it was. I was like, oh my God, what the hell is that? Is that some sort of, it did sound like mechanical. You know, I was like, what the hell is that? I went back there, oh my God, it's a bird. Northern flickers is what you have. Yeah, we have the flickers. The big woodpecker there, the hairy one that's the much larger cousin of the downy one, they don't stick around. They're only here for like maybe 2-3 weeks, right? They come through, you hear them out there for a couple of weeks, then gone. They're migrating. They find a nice loud tree they want to go to. Think they're tapping out. Any other woodpeckers around? It's just me? And I swear to God, they come back every year. April. They come back in like April, right before the trees get the leaves grow back. And then by the time the leaves start growing back and you can't see them anymore, they're gone. Completely gone. You know? They're not a pileated. I've only seen a pileated once when I was on a trip to New Hampshire. Couldn't believe it. Right outside my window. I was, oh my God! Pileated woodpecker. Holy shit. They're enormous. They're a big bird. I've never seen one of those around here. I'm sure we have them, but we're too, had to be in New Hampshire. It was like way more rural. I don't really see them around here. I think we're too urban. Exactly, tonewood trees. You got owls hooting in the middle of the night. We had them once. We had the great horned owl, and then a few years ago, I remember going through because we had coyotes, and I wanted to go through like the night footage and just see if any coyotes had been coming down the driveway and going through the backyard, and I see these like big bright eyes, and I stop it and I rewind. And I'm looking, and I see it, and the eyes don't move in the socket. That's how you know it's an owl. Just the head moves, and you can literally see him blink. The eyes are so freaking big. And this is on a night cam. Can't see the freaking bird because it's so dark, but you can see the eyes because they're so enormous. And then all of a sudden, boom, he took off very low to the ground, going after something, probably a chipmunk, or mouse, or a vole. And I've never seen one other than that, and even then I really saw its eyes, but I have been out in the back and heard them hooting. Hoot, hooty, hoot. Got to be careful, an owl, man. Owl can do some serious damage. It's a big bird. And they like to concuss. Owls, especially a great horned owl, comes in real fast and tries to concuss its victim, and then dig its talons into its back and crush their spine and make them paralyzed. That way they don't fight back as much. I've never seen a snowy owl except for one time, sadly, dead in the street. I thought it was a seagull. I'm like, oh my God, there's like a white bird. It was in the winter. I'm like, there's like a white bird in the middle of the road. What the hell? Oh my God, it's a snowy owl. I was like, oh, the first one, the only one I've ever seen in my life was dead on the goddamn road. Yeah, it started rocking its head back and forth. That's a sign that they're gearing up to do some damage. Right? They're trying to show how big they are and how agile. And no, you don't want to be messing around with an owl. Oh, that is good. I'd back away, yeah. Yeah, I don't really see those up here, the burrowing owls. Not really. Down, yeah, they burrow into the ground. No, we get the great horned owls, big freaking owls. A lot of people around here will put an owl statue out in the yard to scare away birds if they don't want birds. Because owls will stand still, and so they're not quite sure, is that a statue or is that a real owl? Oh yeah, Plum Island gets them during the winter. Lots of snowy owls. I know that. Non-releasable ones in Vins in Vermont. Well, certainly Plum Island's a lot closer. Just bring in a mom owl and 2 kids in the backyard, and they're cool. Yeah. Yeah, the owl statues don't work there. It just depends on the bird. Some of them, they figure it out. But I know a few people that have them. You know. Oh, not only will a turkey fight a bird of prey, so will a rooster. Right. Like part of the function of a rooster is to protect the hens from chicken hawks. And so like a hawk will try to fly in and steal a chicken. That rooster will come out and friggin' peck that hawk to death if he can. That hawk usually goes running for its life. Oh, did you see on a completely different subject? Wallace and Gromit doing a new movie. First feature film since I want to say 2005 with Curse of the Were-Rabbit 2006. So it has a I think it's Vengeance is Foul, F-O-W-L. And I want to say it has an AI, right? Wallace invents an AI gnome to guard the gardens. What could go wrong? Crows will chase away hawks. Oh, I see crows out there going after the hawks. Sometimes when I hear crows like really going crazy out there, I'm like, what is the commotion? And it's usually a hawk up at the top of a big tree. And like not giving two shits about the hawk, about the crows, and the crows are diving it and screaming and screeching. And finally the hawk will, get up and start flying, and they just go ballistic. Oh, yeah, they have owl sounds, scare away noisy birds. Right. Play a little bit of owls hooting. They hear that, and they're like, maybe it's time to move on. I did see that in a new Crow movie. They're bringing back the Crow. Who moves from a pony country to a non-pony country? I had a pony. How was I supposed to know she had a pony? Yeah, it's like I think I met some chick in college. We got onto something, and like, she didn't know any TV, like no cartoons or anything. I was like, how do you not know this? And she's like, well, we didn't really watch a lot of TV. I'm like, well, what did you do? She's like, well, I had a pony. We had horses. I said, oh, okay. Yeah, sure. It's a bad remake, The New Crow. Could be. You know, sometimes they try and it's a big failure. That is a Wylde guitar. Wylde, baby. God, can I flip it over? Maybe. It is a bit of a beast. You got your stinger right there. Ugh. Oi. Oh, my ear. There we go. Itchy ear. I think it's Schecter. It's on the Schecter website. But who makes Schecter? Where is this made? China? Indonesia? South Korea. So it's world music, right? Samick? Right? Does Schecter make their own guitars, or do they job them out like Ibanez? Ibanez doesn't make. The only thing made by Ibanez is the LA Custom Shop. Everything else goes out to Fujijan or Court. Yeah, Samick's been around forever. I had a Samick mixing board. And I had a Samick power amp. Stereo power amp. And then I didn't have Samick speakers. I want to say I had two PV, the 15s with the radial horn. Yeah, you remember that one, speaker? Yeah, my old Samick. God. That had to be, what, 1990? 91? 92? Somewhere around there? Yeah, 89? That sounds about right. That could be right. Johnny says, to tell you, the guitar looks really nice. A nice colored flame on it. Maple neck with the dark fretboard does look cool. Yeah. No, they're good looking. And I like kind of the 3D look of the headstock, you know. It's got that little lip, right? Makes it look a little bit better than just a straight, you know. It's just a little bit more interesting, the 3D look, I think, than just if they just made it just flat with an edge. I think it's a little nicer. You know, here. Your mileage may vary. How much do these guitars retail? You know, that's a great question. Let's look up. What's Zounds doing it for? I could have sworn. Let's try. We're gonna do the old Blood Eagle. Nothing but a blood eagle. Let's look. $13.99. $13.99. They also make a oh, there it goes. They also make a black. You know, if you don't like the color, in addition to the green. A little different, a little bit more understated. And it's satin finish too. Do they have another one? Is that the only one? Hold on. Oh yeah, one more. With the maple fretboard. That actually doesn't look bad in that photo. That first photo, I thought it looked a little too light. Or sometimes it's just like not enough contrast. Right there. So there you go. $13.99. You like the black one? Yeah. I thought the black one, it's satin too. Which has a, and it seems to have that like, hold on. So here's the one I have, right? The Nordic Ice. That's this one. But hold on. Let me just go back to this here and bring that up. If you look at this, definitely a different, it gives a whole different vibe, I think. Right? Once it goes satin and once it has like, it's just like reverse space. So where the other one fades to black at the edge and is light in the middle, this is the reverse. And I swear it makes the guitar feel bigger, right? Even though it's not. They're identical in size. But just because this fades to black at the edge, right, on this, right? Your eye really only sort of processes the middle part maybe a little bit more. I'm telling you, that other one's gonna feel bigger. Even though they're identical, it's gonna seem bigger optically. Right, and matches the headstock too. Good point. Doing yard work was an SFB though. Yeah, there you go. There's not a lot going on here visually. It's more of a podcast. It's a clodcast. Yeah, not just non-locking, also no floating tram hardtail. You know, very quickly. Sounds just like a really good Explorer. You know, it's an Explorer shape, but I don't know that an Explorer, the shape itself, has a sound. You know, it's sort of a weird thing. You know, other instruments, like, say, a saxophone, there's only so many changes you can make to it, right? The color, right? And maybe that's about it. Shiny. But you can't change it too much or you don't have a saxophone any longer. Right? There's only so many changes you can make. The guitar is seemingly limitless. As long as you slap, you know, some strings and some frets on it with some pickups, the body shape, it can be all over the place. And because of that, the guitar is like 90% like, you know, fashion accessory. 10% tone. Right? You got like basically active, passive, humbucker, single coil, maybe P90s. You run out of options pretty quickly to make major changes in tone. And then after that, it's just all, you know, what matches your outfit. Explorer-shaped violin would be funny. They've done the V. I'm sure you must have seen the V. They got the flying V. I've seen the flying V violins. You must have seen them. Right, because they can get one side of the V in the front of them and one, right, they can go in the V. It's kind of it's a look. Exactly, it's all fashion tone. Well, Steinberger had it right, but he probably was wasting his time going with that whole graphite thing. He had to do that to Septo. It didn't look like a boat oar. No, it's graphite, bro. I don't know that it was making a huge change in the tone. Probably some change, but not a huge change. You put the same pickups in 3 different guitars, the differences between those 3 guitars are going to be minuscule. Probably bigger if it goes from like a floating trem to a you know, a tailpiece and bridge, you know. Yeah, Mark Wood. You know, I met him. Phil X introduced me to Mark Wood. Right? The metal violinist. I almost shit. I'm like, I know you. Like, of all the people I meet at NAMM, I don't know anyone. You I know. Holy shit. Totally knew that dude. I'm like, no, you're the metal violinist. I totally remember this. You guys doing anything for Labor Day weekend? We're going to get rain, I think, tomorrow. But they say Monday's going to be nice. I think Tuesday I might go out with the wife. Yeah, football. There's not... I don't think we have... Do we have football here this Sunday? No, it's a week from Sunday. You know? Into vintage guitars also? Not really. There's a lot of... vintage guitars can be cool and have some mojo, but you have to realize that guitars now are made to way more exacting standards than they were back then. It was a lot more hand. That's why you had to go and try guitars out, because they really did vary from guitar to guitar, depending on who built it, who sanded it. There was all kinds of inconsistencies, you know. Now with the CNC machines, everything is within the tolerance of like 1/1000th of an inch, like literally a half a human hair. The tolerances are so... Where the metal industry was 40 years ago is where the wood industry is now. So, it's... I just think that manufacturing is way better now than it's ever been. And so it's just way more consistent. Way more consistent than it used to be. Oh, no, there are absolutely bad vintage guitars, well, without a doubt. You know, a lot of those guitars are about nostalgia. But once you get young enough, you don't even have the nostalgia, right? All you got left is some mojo that, like, someone told you about. So, I don't know. It feels like a lot of sort of invented, vibes. I'm not saying they're not cool. And a lot of them have cool, like, stories. And I think that's what a lot of people that are into the vintage, like Joe Bonamassa would tell you that. It's like, he goes, it's not just the guitar, it's the story behind the guitar. About how this guy bought it in 1963, and he played in this wedding band until 1986. And, and then he just had it for the rest of his... or he played until like the early 90s, and then he finally retired, and then he just passed away, and the family's selling the guitar. And he loves that, like, that whole story. Like single owner, all this stuff. Yeah, he does Eruption on the violin, yeah. Any Labor Day guitar sales catch your eye? No, I mentioned earlier the Gibson Mod Shop's doing a sale. PRS is doing like 15% off on accessories. I saw that email. I haven't seen too many crazy sales. They don't want to go too nuts right now because they know people are doing other things. Like smashing their truck into an overpass on Storrow Drive. Welcome to Boston. So, there's not a ton of sales. They're all gearing up for Black Friday. So they don't want to go too nuts right now. What's so interesting is that, like, so I follow this TV, right, this Hisense TV, and it's just so interesting how, when they first came out, they were $14.99, and then suddenly, you know, they were, you know, a couple $100 off or whatever. They were down to like, I don't know, $1,200, $11.99, something like that. And then there was like Prime Day, and then Prime Day put them down to like $9.99. So all of a sudden, everybody had them down to $9.99. You know, $500 off a $1,500 TV. And then all of a sudden, it was back up to $1,500 again because the sale was over. And they know if you really need a TV, they need to get those dollars whenever they can, when somebody absolutely needs a TV like this week. So, or they want that TV. So it's very interesting because it never got back down to the $9.99 until this week. Then it fell back down. Someone's doing a sale somewhere, and all of a sudden everybody's back down to $9.99 again. So it's just so interesting. It's like literally a brand new, the pricing on a brand new television can go up by as much as 50% between $9.99 and $14.99. PRS 15% off code. Oh, Blues Lawyer. Yeah. Is the Monday Guitar of the Week a brand you did before or new? That's a good question. It is a brand I think I've done before. Yep. We've done this one before. Though I think this is the second one. So, haven't done a ton of this brand here. It's not a Vola. It's not a Fender. We can rule those right out. It's not an Ibanez. It's a different brand, and it's actually a really if my memory serves correctly, I believe the guitar is like, I want to say $5.99, so it's not a very expensive guitar. It's sort of a mid-pricer. So I like it. Right in the middle. In fact, some would even say that's low. You're starting to get into the budget stuff. Definitely not a Donner. I don't do really Donners on Guitar of the Week because Zounds doesn't sell them. Donner usually gets their own video, a dedicated video. So it could be Yamaha, Squier, and Kramer are all good guesses, but I just did a Squier. So, you know, you don't want to, we're not flooding the market with Squiers now. Jackson's a good brand too, and Jackson has a lot of guitars in that mid-priced place. So Jackson's actually a great guess. But we're not doing Donner. It won't be Donner just because I really treat Donner as sort of a separate thing. I have a completely different relationship with Donner. You know, Donner did tell me they have a new guitar coming out and they were going to send it to me soon, but I haven't heard from them. That's been a few weeks now. I don't know what's going on. But, you know, maybe they just wait until after the holiday. I consider mid-price to be between $500 and $1,000. Once you get over $1,000, to me, that's more than mid-priced. But that's just me. Some people would say $1,500. But I'm at $1,000. I think a bargain guitar is under $500. Mid-price is between $500 and $1,000. And then once you get beyond $1,000, that's premium tier. You know. PRS is a good. Solar. Now, I've never had a Solar here. But I don't think they're sold on Zounds. So I can't get one. They're not at retail. You know. Call Ola. Have him send you a sola. Hey, Ola, I need a sola. Brola. And that's when he's going to go, doo doo doo. I'm sorry. Oh, hello? Hello? There's a man answering. Sounds good. People have been buying from them for years. Yeah, I've been loving them. I've been really happy with this whole thing with getting the guitars. You know, I mean, I don't think I would have a Wylde audio here any other way, right? Other than a loaner like that. You know, it's hard to fund those yourself. It's hard to just go out and buy and sell guitars and just hope you break even or don't lose too much money. It's just much easier to get the loaners. And that's when he said, Nola. And I went, Ola. And I went, Dola. And that's when I said, are you going to go see the Crola? You know what I saw this week? I haven't seen it in a while. But I was able to watch it in Ultra 4K HDR, you know, Dolby Vision. And it looked friggin' spectacular. Is Coraline. That's a great movie. Just in time for Halloween. Watch a little bit of Coraline. God, it looks so good. I hadn't seen it in a while. I was like, oh man. Well, yeah, Coca-Cola. I've never been to Norm's Rare Guitars. I should pop in there. They're in LA? Are they in Vegas? No, they're in LA, right? There might be an Ibanez P in Onyx Black here in New Zealand. You got the white one, so you might get the black. Oh, don't you have to, dude? Then you got the set. That's just math. It's gone up to 6,500 New Zealand. And you got the white for 6,000. Yeah, right. So Steve Vai playing with his broken arms. Oh my God, right. I'd do it. I mean, if you already dropped 6 G's on the other one, just to get the, I mean, unless you think they're going to drop. I mean, what do you think the chances are you're going to be able to get it for 6,000 or even 5,500? If you say, well, the chances are actually probably pretty low, just because you're in New Zealand and it's just harder to get stock there, then you might have to go for it. You know, I'm pretty lucky in the States. Like I said, I just bought a guitar ridiculously, I think, below where it should be for what it goes for. And that's one of the benefits in the States, is that there's so many friggin' guitars, and there's so many friggin' ways to buy guitars, that you can find a bargain out there once in a while. Not always, and usually, guitars are exactly where they should be. But once in a while, like my Select Strat, you find a Select Strat for $8.99. You're like, what? Holy shit! Why? Right? You get something really cheap. I got that. I got an RG550 for $275. I got an Ibanez 540 Radius, the 540R Radius, for $260 with a hard shell case. The deals can be out there, but you got to be patient. You cannot be all over yourself. The only guitar I was very impatient on was that Telly, and I paid retail for it. That was like $14.50. You know, barring that, I try to hold out for the bargains wherever I can, if you can. The problem is that Tony being where you are, it's just trickier to get stock there, right? So that's where it gets. I'm sure it's a lot easier to get like Yamaha, made in Japan Fender, Ibanez. I bet those brands are way more, right? Anything out of Japan is probably way easier. Although the Ibanez, you know, they're made in Japan. That P is going to be made in Japan. You know, you would think that it would be maybe a little bit more common just because of proximity to its country of manufacture. I don't know. It's a tough call. Oh no, we get some stupid deals. We do. You know, not all the time, but they're out there. They're out there. You can get some really good ones. $275. They'll go for at least 1,000 more now. Oh, I know. No, they're way up there. God, I got that 2006. Now, mind you, when I bought it, I didn't know it was a 2006. But I got a 2006 Classic Player Strat. The 2006 came with custom shop pickups. I didn't even know that. I do the video, and the guy was like, hey, check the serial number. If it's an 06, it might have custom shop pickups. I look at the back. It is an 06. I pulled the strings off and opened it up. It did have custom shop, signed custom shop pickups. I was like, oh, my God, I paid $299 for that guitar. I sold it for, I think, $699. So I did okay. I don't think there is any R36 news. They have, if you're running Arc OS, there's been updates, but you've got to put like an Edimax, it's like Wi-Fi. I don't even think it's Wi-Fi 5. I think it's Wi-Fi 4. Just got to get the old one. What Zach is this? This is the Blood Eagle. I warn you, don't look up what Blood Eagle means. It's a horrific Viking torture to pull your lungs out of your back to make you look like an eagle. It's pretty heinous. All the retailers here have agreements so they can't sell to us in New Zealand. We have to get them from local gouge shops, right? More than 90% of my gear from local shops, even with the markups. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, this is Nordic Ice. Ice, baby. Doom, 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 doom. And I like the nice fade, right? They fade the edge there a little bit. Nice touch. The neck is not a super thin neck. I wouldn't say it's super thick either. They call it a Zaxxy. I'd say, quite frankly, it kind of feels like a 50s Les Paul. Maybe a touch thinner than the 50s Les Paul. The 50s Les Paul can be kind of chunky. Depends on the one you get. When they had the metal nuts, they felt a little thicker because they had to make the neck slightly wider to accommodate those metal nuts when they were doing that. But if you didn't, it's like 2015, 2014, 2015, somewhere around there. Um, but I would say that this is closer. See, it feels not too bad down here, but it thickens up as you get higher, right? It ramps up pretty quickly when you get up here. A nice rolled edge of the fretboard, though, and the frets feel great. Nice and smooth. You know, I have to make a video where I'm playing like great riffs of the 80s, right? Or a riff a year, because there's a dude who does it. And for, I think, either 82, I think he does it. He does. And man, he's just playing it all wrong. He goes, like, dude, what are you doing? It's like 3. So, I just want to go through and, you know, and then he does like, then he goes, and I'm like, no, you're not on the one, dude, on the and. And did the good thing, right? It's on that and. Oh man, I saw Zakk Wylde do that. Zakk Wylde was talking about how much he loved Back in Black, and then he played it wrong. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Especially from you. I know you can play this. The hell, what is wrong with you? But he played the riff on the one instead of the and one. I'm like, what? Of all people, you should know this. Maybe he's worried about a copyright strike. I don't think so. He was on like Premier Guitar. You know, they were saying like, well, who are your influences? Who'd you like? He was like, oh God, I loved AC/DC. Then he starts to play the riff and he butchers it. I'm like, dude, what? And then, well, the thing is that particular riff, kids used to come in and butcher it all the time in the music store. And of course, I'm like, you're playing it wrong, bro. Playing it wrong. Wrong. Have a good one, speaker. Yeah, give me a text tomorrow. I'll be around. You're going to want to see this thing, dude. Yeah, you already saw the tease photo. You got to see it in person. You're going to dig this thing. It's got mojo for days. Yeah, you're going to like it. All right, dudes, it is 8:50. Oh, it's just hit 9. It's 9 o'clock here. So I should call it a night. Thanks so much for hanging out. Welcome to all my new members, and super thanks to Nelson for sponsoring 10 new members for the month. That's very much appreciated. We had a new Cool Bro member tonight, and that's always appreciated. My members are always appreciated. So thank you. And of course, Brofist and my mod squad. Hashtag Brofist, hashtag mod squad. I don't think we had a mod tonight. That's okay. It's calmed down since I made you have to be a subscriber. We don't get the spam like we used to. Much better. And you guys have a wonderful week. My guys in the States, have a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Don't work too hard on Labor Day. And we'll do it all again in a week. And until then, have a wonderful week. Look forward to a Monday's Guitar of the Week. It's right there. And then I have my other new vintage guitar that I got. It's right there. It is. It's right there. And then, stay tuned for both of those. You know what? You might not see the vintage one for a little bit because, I'm waiting on parts. I had to order some parts. They've been shipped. They have to, they have to get here, and I have to install them. But it should work. All right. No, you rock. Have a great week, and I will see you all in a week, and we'll do it all over again. We're like that dude, like throwing the boulder up the side of the hill. Just always comes rolling right back down, and we do it all over again. Go back, jack, do it again. Wheel going round and round. All right, I'll see you all here next week. Wheel going round and round, and we will do it again next week. Have a wonderful week, and later.